I'm just saying, like, the way I see it. I mean, okay, remember that thing that you said about how... Oh, what was that thing that... Oh, you said it to me ages ago. It was about through every society. You said that's how ancient Rome fell, that's how ancient Greece fell.
So there's this historian that came out, and she's like, apparently she's supposed to be one of the, like, a really well-known historian.
Yeah.
And pretty much what she said was, if you look at every civilization throughout history, in their death throes of that civilization, how would you say the word? What's the word?
Word.
Basically, in the death throes of each civilization, each, like, empire, whatever it was.
Yeah. Catalyst.
It was one of the main catalysts. Androgenism?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
That was the word?
Yeah.
Became more acceptable.
Okay.
So...
The blurring of two genders.
The blurring of two genders, and essentially, she said, like, you start looking at their artwork, and as soon as, like, the defining image of a man and woman started becoming more androgynous,
yeah,
within 100 to 200 years, that empire pretty much was either destroyed or ceased to exist.
Yeah. When did we start seeing androgynous shit? In the 80s, late 80s.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah.
Oh
no, probably even earlier.
Did we?
Yeah.
Well, you had great. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Actually, true.
Probably even the 60s.
No.
Yeah.
No. I'm trying to think of models and stuff that would have stood out in pop culture at that time. The real
I'm even thinking of, like, movies with, like, where characters were kind of like that already.
Yeah, but not 60s. Characters. I'm talking about people.
People.
Like, I'm thinking of androgynous art and models. I'm picturing straight away David Bowie, Grace Jones, all the they were deep in the 80s.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, all the men started wearing makeup. And like Prince, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He was becoming more feminine. Then Grace Jones was that tall, the tall black chick from Bond.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She was in our Boomerang.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was her name? What was her name in Boomerang? Grace Jones's name in Boomerang. She had that really, like, raunchy, it was like real French. Oh man, I watched Boomerang like 6 months ago. Hang on. Strange. I got it. Strange. Strange. Just speak with that French accent. We and me and you going to fuck. What? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
if that was in the 80s, then we've got 100 years from then.
But like you said, we've been moving a lot more faster than any other time.
Yeah. Society's progressing at a quicker rate.
Yeah.
Okay, so hang on. I love how this started because I was questioning what job I was going to do.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I always, and that's the other thing I was going to say.
What do you call it? What do you call it? The never-ending branches of, I don't know. Life. I don't know.
So this actually ties in everything I was going to say. I asked you what you wanted to do when you were younger, and then what I was going to say before you started, before you said that thing about soft and strong empires or whatever, times of turmoil, was if you were to join the army, what position you would give yourself. As in, if you could do anything in the army outside of like a high commander, never seeing action or whatever. Because I remember when I was a kid, I either wanted to be a cartoonist or an illustrator or whatever, or an author. And then in high school, sort of blurred, and I started doing music production and all that sort of crap. But I always wanted to join if I joined the armed forces, I knew exactly what I wanted to be. 100%.
Yeah, I know what yours is.
What?
Sniper.
Oh, yeah. Sniper or recon.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of, because I didn't want to see, because you see battle.
You do.
Because you got snipers and you got counter snipers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like you're always a target.
But you,
but snipers,
snipers are mainly reconnaissance.
Yeah.
They're used, for,
That idea, and dude, that's when I applied for that position in the Australian, the Defence Force, 3 years ago?
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Back at the start of 2016. That's when I failed my first colourblind test. Yeah. Well, speaking of which, actually became aware of it because of you.
Yeah.
Do you remember we were playing? I think it was like a Dynasty Warriors game.
I think we were,
Yeah. I just remember the map.
Yeah.
We were like screaming and pointing at
He's there!
that orange thing. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Because of that. Yeah, dude. I went and I sat a test, and I originally gone for a munitions role, which would have been basically logistics, but with, firearms and weapons and ammunitions.
Yeah.
And because I smashed like the test, because you're basically forced to sit an aptitude test, and then aside from the aptitude test, in it, there's also like a military grade psychological test.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be stuff on fucking, what's the word? They use it for like a cognitive test and all that sort of shit. Yeah. And I smashed it, apparently. I must have, like, fluked, like, some of the questions. I don't know, man, because I didn't go prepared.
They came back like,
dude,
you said you got paper.
Dude, I'm serious. I looked at it, and I remember looking around, like, you're in one of those, those voting booths?
Yeah.
You're in, like, one of those kiosks. I'm sitting there just, like punching the dot. Like, I'm pretty sure it was multiple test, multiple choice as a screen. It was like, if lemons are cars, then elephants are what? I'm like, fuck,
nuclear warheads.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's the most ridiculous shit. I'm like, I'm looking around, and these people are like sweating, man. And they got like, basically, you had to, if you had working out on a piece of paper, you had to give them the piece of paper. So any working out you did had to be down on the paper. And that's the part that got me paranoid, because I'm like, what if I start like dawdling or like doodling like random shit? And I look at it like, what the hell's this guy doing? Like, it's like a sociopath. You know what I mean? You can't have him in the army. Yeah, so I pretty much stayed away from the paper. I didn't trust it. I legit didn't trust the paper, because I thought that would be the giveaway, like, of anything.
Yeah.
But then, when I completed the test, I remember looking around, everyone's like sweating, man. Like, you fucking relax, man.
Yeah.
I sat the test, I did the eye test and all that sort of shit, and then the woman's like, oh, you're colourblind. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Yeah, but you already knew that. I'm like, yeah.
No, I didn't, actually. Thanks for confirming that.
She had no bedside manner at all, man. She was literally like, well, you're colourblind, but you knew that. I'm like, Anyway, that was probably one of my most humiliating moments ever. I'm legit, like, actually failing that colourblind test.
Yeah?
It was just a shade chart.
Yeah.
So, like, circles that went from one shade and one certain colour down to, like, a darker or a lighter shade, and I flunked it. Like, she was literally, I'm sitting there, like, sweating over this thing, and I could feel her come back and just stand over my shoulder for a bit.
Yeah.
I could almost smell her disappointment. Anyway, I sat the test, did all that, and then they said to me, look, because you're legally colourblind on this test, there are certain jobs you're not going to be able to do, like radar. You can't be an astronaut. You know what I mean? Like, that's it. They're like, yeah, you can't do anything in the Air Force. I'm like, oh, thanks. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I want to be a fighter, a Top Gun world flying ace, you know.
A hot shots flying ace.
Top of Harley. Legit. Yeah. But then they said, but there are still jobs you can do in the ADF. I'm like, okay. So they gave me basically a list and said, here, do any of these, and then you fill out a personality test. And not even a test. It was just what are your interests? What are your experience? What's in your experience? What do you have? What would you like to do? Blah, 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 blah. So you fill all that shit out. And then, you circle the fields that seem appealing to you. They ask you what job you actually applied for initially, all that crap. So I sat that. It was a big process, man. I was in the city for about 3 hours. Yeah. Anyway, do you know what's interesting, man? The side note, when I went up there, because like you park it's up near the Vic Market somewhere. I can't remember the exact address, but it's a building above like a car dealership, like an Aston Martin dealership.
Oh, yeah.
So you go up like 20 flights, you go to this little office and like seating area, it looks like a doctor's office. While I'm there, I saw a guy I used to work with like 6 months earlier.
Oh, yeah?
He's like, what are you doing here? I go, me? What are you doing here? Because I'm re-enlisting. He was in the actual Navy.
Okay.
He'd served for like 10 years.
Oh, wow.
And he had enough.
He had
a warehouse.
Yeah.
So he literally re-enlisted.
Oh, wow.
They accepted him straight away, and he was on his way to like, what's the name of that port out in the WA? Like the famous one where all the warships leave. Yeah. It's 'cause the WA, obviously, it's the West Coast. It heads straight into the ocean. Yeah. And he was leaving that afternoon. He was just there to basically formalities, just to sign up. No shit.
Yeah.
I never thought, dude, trust a wog to go into an ADF office, recruiting centre, and find someone that he knows. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I sat down, did the test, and then a woman came to interview me as far as my choices.
Yeah.
But she said that she was in training, and so there was like some sort of colonel, and he was going to be overlooking the interview.
Yeah.
And this dude, man, like, you know when You know when you've played military video games.
Yeah.
You've watched enough movies.
Yeah.
You know that one colonel that you know not to fuck with?
Yeah.
And not because he's angry, but just because he's like a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like solid grip pump. You know, like just the arm hair.
Shook your head, you're like,
You know what I mean? It's like, Demetrios, welcome to the army. I'm like, oh my God. Like, literally, you know that he goes home and just bench presses his car. You know what I mean? He's just got like that, literally.
Yeah,
it was that dude.
Oh, well.
And he's like, yeah, I'm going to be overseeing this thing because, you know, she's training. And so she's asking me the questions. And then it's like, oh, you know, what did you have? I see you had munitions role, like, you know, logistics role, blah, blah, blah. I can see why you'd pick that, this and that. And then the guy was like, listen, I know what you've picked, like as in what you selected as an area of interest, but based on your interests, and I put down something like, you know, I've travelled, I have an interest in languages. I
think you'd make a good spy.
Dude.
Did he say that?
Dude, based on that, and then based on the fact that you scored very highly in the tests,
Yeah.
We want to put you forward for a counterintelligence position.
Demetrius Byrne.
Dude. Let's legit.
Mad. That's crazy.
Yeah. He said,
Yeah?
I thought I would have told you this.
No, you never told me this.
Really?
Yeah.
This was start of 2016.
Yeah?
Yeah. And I said, okay, so what would that be like? He's like, well, counterintelligence. You know, what do you know about it? I'm like, well, not much, you know, other than what you see in the movies.
Yeah.
He's like, pretty much, like and they gave me like a job description basically, and then I Googled it on my own. He goes, look, you don't have to, but that's what I'm putting you in for, just based on this conversation we've had, based on your test, based on everything else. So just have a think about it and then put in your formal application for whatever it is you want to go for.
Yeah.
And you look up counterintelligence, and it's literally counterintelligence. So it's basically like spying.
Wow.
Basically following global trends, intel, and just helping like the big boys come up with strategy on like what they need to be focusing on, what they need to pay attention to, all that sort of shit.
Okay.
I really thought I would have told you this.
I've never heard this before.
Anyway, I hit a spatter in the works when they found out I had like a sciatica issue like 10 years earlier.
Oh, okay.
Legit.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, we can't, you can't apply because you're a liability. I'm like, how? Like, oh, you know, basic training is like 3 months.
You can't outrun a car.
Dude. They're like, oh, they're very strenuous, the train things. I'm like, what are you, out of your mind? I go, man, at that time, I go, I'm in logistics warehousing, man. I go, I literally walk 10K a day lifting heavy boxes. I go to the gym regularly.
Yeah.
I go, I play futsal. I cycle like 30K a week.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I can't do basic training. It's like, yeah, well, we'd need proof. And at that point, I didn't have money to pay for x-rays or whatever. I know that if I went to like a public doctor, I could have gotten like a referral for free, but it would have been a shitstorm. And I just got totally put off, wrote a couple counter letters, got a letter from my doctor clearing me for it. And I said, no, it's not enough. I said, it basically lasts for like 3 years and then you have to reapply again. I think it was 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, that really pissed me off. But I could have ended up, I'd still love to do it one day. But yeah, I could have ended up doing counterintelligence.
Counterintelligence,
I don't know if this is actually classified information.
This whole section would just be white noise.
Do white noise for like 10 seconds and anyway. Yeah, back to that salami.
Yeah.
Yeah, so asking you, what would your ideal role in the military position be? The foxhole.
No.
You know what you'd be?
What?
You'd be like an Ottoman at the top of a hill with like just a chain gun. Just screaming and eating.
And eating? While they're changing over all the belt. Quickly, hand me another salami.
Don't move and just from the turret.
No. I think I'd like to be like involved with actually like organising like stuff, the operations and that.
Don't you have to work your way up to that?
Yeah. No. I just walk in. It's like, boys, I'm taking over.
I'm the new sheriff.
Who's in charge? I am. Not anymore. Give me that. Dude. You're like the FBI to the cops.
That's the best. That's the best call in the movies in hot shots. Yeah. You're out there in. That dude, I don't think there's probably a more satisfying moment in like, if you, in real life, let's just say, being like a G-man walking in on like a local cop or whatever.
Oh,
At the crime scene.
Yeah.
What's going on? It's like, not much to see, man. We're just getting my boys. Not anymore. You know what I mean?
Just a wallet flip.
Yeah. Oh, and hey, don't go leaving town. You know what I mean? That's all it ever is, man. Yeah. Everything's hush-hush. Yeah. Give us everything you got. You're not holding out on me, are you? You know what I mean? No, but seriously, that is the most presumption. Like, just the cockiness.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, listen, just wrap it up. Just leave your shit here at the door. We'll take care of it from this point on.
For sure.
Yeah. All right, so you'd want to be organising what? Operations? Like, as in going forward?
Like sort of like a tactician, strategist, the top of that style.
I love how you're basing all this on your experience with Total War.
Yes! I've conquered the Middle East numerous times.
For people that don't know, actually, you know what, man?
Yes.
There's a scary game. What are those games rated?
PG. Educational.
No.
They are. I think they're PG. No, I think they're rated M. I think they're rated M.
PG?
They're rated M, I think.
Hang on. Total War.
There's mods in them that you can get that has blood and gore.
All right, hang on. So Total War, any of them? That'll all be the same, yeah? Total War 3 Kingdoms is out. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's why I disappeared for a couple of weeks.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
You know you disappeared. Was that just now?
Yeah, it came out about a month ago.
Yeah, I was going to smash up. You know why?
Yeah.
Because I've noticed it because I've been off work.
Yeah.
So I've got copious amounts of free time.
Yeah.
And as you know, I've hit you up. How many times did I jump online and have a game or something?
I know.
That's just Total War. You see?
That's my favourite, like one of my favourite eras with, like, you know, one of my favourite games, so. It's pretty good, actually. Probably one of the best ones I've done in a long time.
Okay, so for people that don't actually know, Total War, you explain it. Why am I explaining it?
Total War is based, so there's different ones and they're all based in different eras in history. So like there's a Rome Total War, so it's, you know, during the ancient Rome period, and you can pick to go any faction in that era. So you can go the Romans, you can go one of the Greek cities, you can go Spartans, you can go Athens, you can go Macedon, you can go the Gauls, the British, you can go the Germans, Egyptians, you can pick from like the successor states, like those are the ones which, those were the 4 generals that took over from Alexander.
Yeah, when Alexander died.
Yeah, so
the
successor states, and they became their own. So like Egypt and like Seleucid and all that. Then you can go African nations. That's just within the Rome one. All right, then you got the Crusader one, which is based during the Crusades. Yeah. So you can go any country during that era.
No wonder you disappeared, you prick.
Yeah, so
I just realised it now. It all comes out.
It all comes together.
So would it be a PG rating or an M?
I think some of the earlier ones were PG because they used it as like, well, this is a more of an educational, like, because it was historically accurate and the units and all that.
Okay, for people that haven't gathered, it's a strategy game where you control armies.
Yeah.
Yeah? And
but not like, it's not like in the sense where like, if you know like your StarCraft and Warcraft, it's not like that. The action is real time, so in the sense
you can feel the blood.
No, in the sense where like the battle is all going on at once. It's not just like a unit with 3 people in there and that's it. One unit has like 100 people in it.
I know, but dickhead, put it in a context because some people have never played these games. What I'm saying is, for anyone that doesn't know, these games are literally
battlefield simulations.
Yeah, that's the best way to put it. Where you got the bird's eye view of the combat zone,
and you're the general. You're like the ruler of the faction,
and you're sending troops in.
Yeah.
And you got like
in the
different units. So you got like foot soldiers.
So there's 2 modes. You got like the map mode, the overworld mode, where is like you got the whole view of the whole world map of the area, like depending on which game you're playing. And so you're picking your units and you're moving them around. You're adjusting, like you're micromanaging like your cities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that's turn-based. So you take your turn, you move all your stuff around. Once they've used up the action points, then you press end turn, and then the computer does its stuff.
Yeah.
But then when you actually go into battle, that's real time. So, there's no taking turns.
No.
Everything has to be
made. But you're controlling all the units going left and right. Left and right.
Yeah, that's right.
That's my point. How come? How come every time there's like a school shooting or whatever, they always cherry pick games like GTA 5 or, you know, I don't know, any one of the shooters or whatever. So these are violent video games, we've got to get rid of them, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. They never lean on the real-time strategy games.
Because that's probably...
Yeah, but they're still violent.
Yeah, but not in a sense where, like, the games that they're already blaming...
Yeah, but that's the point. Why don't they ever blame any of the other violent games?
Because those are the most violent ones.
Okay. What have I been playing the last 2 days?
Hitman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that about?
Yeah, you're killing people.
Yeah. And sometimes in the most ruthless fashions.
Yeah, I know.
You got the garrote?
Yeah.
I would have loved to have been a hitman. That's the other thing that I would have liked. Dude, that's the other thing that I always want to be.
Yeah. I would assume that would be included in your counter espionage duties.
Nah, dude, I wanted to be a mercenary.
Okay.
I actually legitimately looked it up. Yeah. Like how to be a merc.
Yeah.
It wasn't very fruitful. You had to basically it's hard because mercenaries, because they teeter. Mercs aren't loyal to anyone.
No.
They're motivated by money.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean? And so in order to get into that, you sort of have to come from a security or a military background or not. It's strange. It's like you need the training and you need the rep, but you can't have any actual alliance.
No, that's right.
It's sort of hard.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Actually, that's a question.
Mercenaries?
Yeah, as in, we used to play, what was it called? Army of Two.
Yeah.
That's still one of the best games of all time.
Yeah, it's alright.
Army of Two, for everyone, Army of Two was a game on PS3 and 4, and it was about two mercs, basically. It was two mercenaries who they get recruited by? It was,
the soldiers, I think, at the start, and then they get hired into a privatized mercenary company.
Yeah.
And,
they go to Mexico.
And then different missions.
China. Yeah. And for everyone, it's weird because I feel like I have to explain what a mercenary is. A lot of people don't know.
A mercenary is a soldier who's paid to fight for whoever can afford him. They have no loyalties.
Yeah.
So you could, so what happens is a lot of, I don't know, kind of like, you'll get like, like on these boats that, that will sail through the African Horn, alright? And that's where a lot of piracy goes on.
Somalia.
Yeah, they'll hire mercenaries to be the guards on the boat.
As opposed to bringing in the army.
So those mercenaries are paid by the company that owns that boat.
They're basically security.
Yeah, security, yeah.
But at the same time, then you've got governments that pay mercenaries
they do.
To go into combat for them.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
Because probably they can't have them going in under their official flag, maybe.
Okay, so these mercs that go in, they have to sign NDA agreements, don't they?
I would assume so.
Yeah. So a government would send mercs in.
But that would be like a high risk anyway, because it's a mercenary. They'll just go wherever there's higher pay, wouldn't they? I mean, the thing is, I think mercenaries probably aren't as, like, they're probably more reputable now than they were, say, a couple 100 years ago.
What, you reckon there were mercs hundreds of years ago?
Yeah, there was mercs thousands of years ago.
What, are you joking?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Sure. The entire, how...
There's just History Hour.
Welcome to History Hour.
You know what I mean?
Listen to me as I sip from my cognac and my cigar.
I know, I was going to say, where's your mead?
Yeah, I forgot it. Oh.
I should have a bottle of mead here. How long does the mead last? As in,
it's a couple. I don't know. Like it doesn't last long. I
was going to say, if I had a bottle, if I had a bottle just sitting there on the fridge, would it go off?
I think you got to put it in the fridge.
Is it like wine though?
It's like a port.
Okay, so it does go off. No, port lasts though.
Well, every time I look at the bottle, I think it's got like a 2 or 3 year. It says like a 2 or 3 year lifespan on it.
Yeah, I'm saying, but once you open it, all right, hang on. You carry on.
Anyway,
I'm going to find the details.
So back in ancient Rome, even earlier than that as well. But earlier than that. All right, so on Sicily.
I'm Googling here, just mercenaries. Yeah, go.
No, okay, so when Rome had to fight Carthage, right, like those of you have heard, me talk before, Rome and Carthage had a war, all right? It was
Jesus.
Anyway, they had a war, and basically the Carthaginian army was like 90% mercenaries.
But Carthaginians were recruited by who?
Carthage was like a city.
Yeah.
And they hired mercenaries to be their army.
Oh, okay.
Right? And if you want to go before that, before even there was a Rome, when like you had your Greek, what do you call them, pioneers who settled on Sicily.
Okay.
Like there was a Greek king in Sicily who
because they say Sicilians, some of them share ancient Rome, ancient Greek language and shit.
It's a lot of the south of Italy.
Yeah, I know. When you go to the south of Italy, you're going to find villages and shit that still have similar dialect.
Yeah. There's a Greek king then in Sicily who
oh my
he
god,
hired
dude,
mercenaries.
You're not so stupid after all. Hang on. Here's history, in Africa, an early recorded use of foreign auxiliaries dates back to ancient Egypt, 13th century BC, where Pharaoh Ramses II used 11,000 mercenaries during his battles.
Yeah.
Do you know who they were? I'm such an idiot. Dude.
Who were they?
They were the Magi. You know, from Assassin's Creed?
Oh,
yeah, man.
There you go.
So the Magi were tribal scouts and light infantry recruited from Nubia, Old Kingdom through the New Kingdom. So these other warriors recruited from the outside of the borders of Egypt included Libyan, Syrian, and Canaanite contingents. Sardinia. So yeah, like you said, off the coast of Italy. They were called Sherdans. Celtic mercenaries were greatly employed in the Greek world, and that's what led to the sack of Delphi and the Celtic settlement of Galatia, sorry. Yeah. And Greek rulers, Ptolemy, man. Ptolemy in Egypt. They used Celtic mercenaries. So hang on, Celtics were... they're from Britain.
Yeah, but yeah,
UK,
they're like...
But they weren't, what's it called?
Because you had different... there was all like different tribes and that.
Yeah. What era was that?
It's gone back.
Where the Celtics necessarily come from where?
Well, that's around that era.
Yeah, like Ireland, Scotland...
Yeah, kind of.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So the Greeks were using Celtics in Egypt. Jesus, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And then in 20th century, mercenaries in conflicts on the continent of Africa. Oh, but this is just Africa. There's more.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on. You know there's actually a lot of laws surrounding mercenary work? Yeah, like heaps. Hang on, let me find some more of these. It's actually a great article if you go in and read it. Dude, actually, I recommend you read this. The history of hang on, these are Celts. Celts. Mercenaries. Hang on, here. Indeed, the Geneva Conventions declare that mercenaries are not recognized as legitimate combatants, and do not have to be granted the same legal protections as captured soldiers of a regular army.
Yeah.
So, in practice, whether or not a person is a mercenary may be a matter of degree, as financial and political interests may overlap, as was often the case among Italian condottieri, something. They were military leaders involved in classic formation battles, like back in the day, and they served like the Roman Catholics or some shit. There's actually a protocol. A mercenary... Dude, in Article 47, no shit, at the Geneva Conventions, a mercenary shall not have the right to be a combatant or a prisoner of war. A mercenary is any person who is especially recruited locally or abroad in order to fight in an armed conflict, does in fact take a direct part in hostilities, and is motivated to take part for a private gain. That's literally about, dude, Geneva Conventions outline what? Like torture, conditions for surrender.
Yeah, like how they're treated.
Yeah, like if you're imprisoned, you can't violate Geneva Conventions by what? I keep forgetting. I need to read more.
Not too well read on the Geneva Conventions, Tim.
See, I would have loved to have been a mercenary. Not the act, outside the act of killing.
Yeah.
It kind of takes...
The act of killing. That kind of is part of the job description, Tim.
It kind of takes the sport out of it.
Yeah.
No, but seriously.
The sport out of it.
I don't know why. I was actually always fascinated with that sort of shit. Like being a hitman. I don't know. Do you reckon a hitman, like the role of a hitman, do you reckon it's as glamorized as like John Wick or the gangs and all that sort of shit?
No, of course not. No way.
What do you reckon it is? Like in reality, in real time, what do you reckon it looks more like? I'm not taking a piss. I'm being serious.
I don't know. It probably... I honestly don't know. It'd probably be more... organised crime style. I don't know.
Do you know what I'm thinking of? Like how badly movies and TV have warped our perceptions of certain jobs.
Yeah.
And all that sort of shit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like when people talk about being a music producer or whatever, yeah, or like being an audio engineer and all this sort of shit, and they just picture like a Dance Revolution type setup.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like someone just doing nothing really, just hitting play on a computer and like, oh yeah, look, singer, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Flash forward and like you got me at 3 a.m, like listening to me cutting your voice and the whistling from someone's nose in the background. It's like, oh, for fuck's sake. You know what I mean? Like 4 hours of this shit. Like that's a reality of it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
But then like you think of Mercenary and straight away I think of John Wick. I think of or Hitman.
Yeah.
You think of Assassins with Antonio Banderas and Stallone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, and they're always, dude. None of these mercs or hitmen, they're never poor.
No, that's right. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, did you ever watch the movie The Substitute with Tom Berenger? This goes
once.
back.
Yeah, I know the movie. I've seen it once, but I don't remember it.
What was that pretty boy that was married to J-Lo? What was her name? What was his name? Mark Anthony?
Yeah,
he was in it.
Oh, was he?
His first movies.
Oh, really?
Ernie Hudson, from Ghostbusters. He's in it. He's a principal.
Okay.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of names in that. That other actor, what was her name? She was in The Jackal. She played the Russian Fed. There you go. The Jackal, another Hitman movie.
Yeah.
All these dudes are linked.
Yeah.
Anyway, Tom Berenger's a hitman in that.
Okay.
He's a mercenary.
Yeah.
Sorry. And he's got like a merc unit. He's just come back from like Panama or some shit. Yeah, they're always doing shit for the American government.
Yeah.
But they're never poor. They've always got like some badass hideout.
Yeah.
Like they're off the grid. Always. And they've got like 100 trapdoors in their houses.
I would assume it may, like as a mercenary, it might be good money. Who knows?
Yeah, but even the hitmen, like Stallone in Assassins wasn't poor.
I don't know.
But think about it. It's all these niche roles, right? Like, do you remember the transporter with Statham? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you remember how he lived? Do you remember his house in France?
Not really.
You don't remember? He does that whole chase.
Yeah.
And then his car gets busted up. So then he gets back to his house, and that's when he's got the package in the back of the car. It's the Chinese girl. And he pulls her out and like dumps her in their house, and then she makes breakfast or whatever. Yeah. He's got like this tall, like 3-story townhouse in French Riviera or something.
I think so. I can't really remember. I only saw it the one time.
Yeah, but these hitmen, or these like transporters and like all these niche roles in getaway movies, heist movies, they all live like billionaire lives.
Yeah, I know.
Like playboys, they've got a house in, and then dude, I'm sorry, but that is the one thing. If you want to push kids away from like organized crime,
don't make it as
glamorous as it does in the movies. You know what I mean? Like they've always got like 4 passports, and they're traveling like internationally. It's like I've got a house in Sweden, I've got a house in France, a house in LA, a house in Miami, a house in Colombia.
Yeah,
that's like standard. Like they've got these houses, house in Amsterdam, like standard
houses everywhere.
Yeah, like these real estate kings, man. You'd think by that point, if you've got that much real estate,
if work starts drying out, I've got a portfolio.
That doesn't make sense.
He makes more. He's got more money.
Dude, you know what, man? Hang on. These geniuses that can like... Actually, The Score. I mentioned it last week on the podcast. Have you watched The Score with De Niro and Edward Norton and Marlon Brando? Can't believe I'm referencing last week.
No, I haven't seen that.
It's a heist movie. Okay,
yeah.
And De Niro's he cracks safes.
Okay.
Yeah? Dude, he's literally... You see him in a hideout. He's living in Canada.
Yeah.
Right? In Toronto, I think. Mm-hmm. I can't remember where. Somewhere in Canada. He's got like a house, like a flat that he does all his work out of. Then he's got like a house above. He's got another apartment that's like kick ass. Mm-hmm. Like it's like brilliant. You know what I mean? Like all wood oak and wood grain shit and bottles of scotch everywhere. Then he's got his jazz club that he owns that he's making money off.
Yeah.
I'm like, hang on a second, man. You're smart. This guy's like infiltrating the greatest safes in the world. Yeah. The greatest safes. Like, I'm talking like state-of-the-art security systems. He's got the access to all this information. But this Muppet has to go back for the one big job that's going to be like the payday. It's like, dude, you own all this real estate. You own a jazz club. What more do you want? Are you that thick in the head? I would have walked away after the first heist.
I know, huh?
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
And these hitmen, like, and you know, the other thing is, they always paint their lifestyles as being incredibly modest. Like, you live a simple life. I lay low, under the shadows. That's how I survive, kid. You know what I mean? And there's always, like, the flamboyant dude, like the young rook that's coming in that's going to take all their bread and butter.
Yeah. That's right,
and this guy's, like, looks like a soccer star, you know, or he's, like, in movies. He's got, like, the slick hair, white suits, drives a fancy car, birds, in clubs, getting his photo taken. Trust me, kid, I've been in this industry a long time. You got to survive. You got to keep your head down. It's like, dude, if you live such a meager existence, why do you need to do another payday? What are you doing? Just lines of coke? Burning fancy art? You know what I mean? I bought the Mona Lisa and burnt it. I need to do another job. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm sorry, man. I don't understand.
I think you're trying to take away too much from these movies, Tim.
What else do I have? No, am I wrong?
No, it's true, yeah, but they're like, you're reading a little too much into these, I think. They're there for entertainment value.
Are you not entertained?
That was I was watching that the other night.
Another murder. Do you reckon there were gladiators like Marcus Aurelius Berilius?
The actual emperor?
No, I know he exists. The emperor exists. I'm talking about gladiators that actually survived the arena for as long as they did.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What do you...
So back then...
How do we go full circle back to Rome to another Merc?
Because it's Rome. It's inevitable.
All roads lead to Rome.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, they were because there was there's like back in those days the gladiators were like the footy stars.
Yeah,
that was celebrities.
Yeah,
so people would get behind them and they'd want them to win so that they win their freedom. You know, and it was common for like. Slaves could be born into slavery, or they could be just like people who just happened to come along a bunch of slavers and just
How
get
were you
taken.
Born into slavery? Because your father was a slave?
Yeah.
Really?
Pretty much.
Was it because your father was a slave, or was it because what's it called? Your family was poor and their firstborn was basically sold.
Yeah, that could be. That's one of them as well. It just kind of depends. It's like you think of it, and it's probably happened. It's pretty.
Still can't get over that one scene. You know what's fucked up is Gladiator's a great movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like the story, the cast, everything's so great.
Yeah.
And the only thing that I remember was that actor at the when he comes across Crow for the first time.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you want? He's like, girl, boy. I've whittled it all down to that, man.
To that, yeah.
That one line, just because I'm a child.
Yeah.
No. Anyway. Yeah, but were there great stories of like actual gladiators?
Apparently there are. I've never really looked into it, but apparently there is, definitely.
Hang on, wait a second. I want to Google it, but I'm scared to do it because I'm afraid that it's going to bring up like American gladiators or something.
All right, I'll do
it. Hang on, famous gladiators.
All right, famous Roman, famous historical.
There we go. Dude, technically 93 is part of history. You know what I mean? It is. You know, was it last year? I think it was last year.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was at the start of this year where September 11 was being taught as a historical subject in high schools because the students weren't alive when it actually happened. Can you believe we're at that point in time?
Yeah.
I can't. I refuse to.
I'm running, like at my new job now, I'm running paperwork where I'm seeing birthdays and it's after I finished high school.
Oh. Dude. All you got to do is Google your favourite, like, softcore actor. I'm serious. Like, born in 92. What? Like, born in 92, surely 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're at that point. It's fucked up. Here we go. I found an article. 10 famous gladiators from ancient Rome. Gladiators were... Dude, Gladiators were the athletic superstars of ancient Rome.
Well, there's people that make the comparison that even though gladiatorial, yeah, exactly, sports don't exist anymore. What's taken their place is obviously your sport nowadays.
Yeah, gridiron footy.
Like the stadiums are Colosseum-like.
Yeah, do they call them the Colosseum?
Yeah, I mean, and so all that's missing is just the blood, basically. That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Okay, hang on.
With certain sports, but,
You got Tetrades, originally discovered through graffiti found in Pompeii in 1817. Tetrades was documented for his spirited victory over Prudes, fighting in the Murmillones style. Oh, that's with that helmet.
Yeah.
The Murmillo.
So, if you don't know much about it, basically, they wouldn't just go, here's a sword and a shield and fight each other. They'd actually set them up with handicaps. So there was different, like that, there's different styles. If you, look it up, there's different styles, and each style would have a weakness to another style, but that specific style could have a bonus over another one. So, one would have, a spear and a net. But then to combat that, another one would have something that would be
two swords,
something, so every style had a counter, but also
the strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah,
that just reminds you of Assassin's Origins.
Yeah, so nothing. Yeah.
Actually, wouldn't mind playing that again. Actually, I never played the other one. The what was it?
Odyssey.
Odyssey. Yeah. Did you ever play it?
I got it, but I haven't played it. It was on sale, man. It's like $39 for the deluxe. No, it's $49 for the deluxe edition, and you got Assassin's Creed 3 for free, digital.
What was 3?
That was the one based during the American
the Revolution.
Revolution.
Yeah, no, I never played
you
that.
play in Native American.
What are you going to say, American Indian?
Yeah,
I don't know they were called Indians because Columbus.
Yeah,
had no idea. You thought he was in India.
Columbus.
Who was it that said? It was Bill. It was hang on, I know who it was. It was Louis C.K.
Yeah.
You never heard it?
I don't think I've heard.
I'll see if I can find it. It's gold, man. What happened to Louis C.K.? Did he ever actually get back?
He tried making a comeback, but somebody leaked his set before it was ready.
Oh, and it had a lot of.
He was making fun of the kids from the shootings, where the last couple of shootings have come from.
Yeah, I know.
They're going in front
I don't actually remember what he said about.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
White people are from another planet. Because when we came to America, it was so nice.
I think I might have seen.
It was just Indians, and they weren't even Indians. We called them that by accident, and we still call them that. We knew in a month that it wasn't Indians, but we just don't give a shit. We never correct it. We came here, they're like, hi, and we're like, hey, you're Indians, right? And they're like, no. No, this is India, right? No, it's not. It's totally other place. You're not Indians? No. You're Indians.
Yeah, man. All right, so Columbus. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, the
gladiators.
Gladiators. Hang on. What the hell? Is there ever any PlayStation games where it's just based on gladiators? I don't think there is. I'm just trying to think.
I think there was one on the PS2 or PS3, but you didn't play as it was like you played as a gladiator, but then you played as, there's two characters. One you were a gladiator, another one you were like a senator's son. And as the son of it was like you played as a little boy, as a boy.
Yeah.
And I think you had to uncover some conspiracy. It was a teenager, not a boy. And then it involved the gladiator who was some lieutenant in the army, and then he got made a. But this is going back a long time.
Okay, I just found another article. It's basically the same thing, but a bit different. But there's a guy called Spiculus, and it's famous gladiators in the 1st century AD. He was popular. Not only was he popular with regular audiences, he was also greatly admired by the notorious Roman Emperor Nero. Spiculus went on to win a number of battles and emerged victorious against many skilled adversaries. Is it adversaries or adversaries?
Same thing.
Is it? That really annoys me sometimes with the pronunciation of words. Anyway, Nero became so fond of him that when he was overthrown in 68 AD, he wanted to die a swift death at the hands of Spiculus. But his aides could not get a hold of Spiculus in time, and Nero took his own life. Spiculus' fame not only revolved around his relationship with Nero, his depiction in several Roman artworks, bare testimony, blah, blah, blah. Hermes. There was a gladiator named Hermes. Every line begins with, there's a poem by, there's a Roman poet called Martial. Literally Martial. 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 That's from back in Rome? What the hell does Martial mean? Like in that sense?
I don't know. In that sense, I don't know.
You have to
I don't know.
You'd have to dictionary this one, man.
I don't know Latin.
You're only Italian.
Well, it's two different languages.
Yeah, no, true. Original Latin's closely linked to ancient Greek anyway, isn't it? Didn't Latin form from ancient Greek?
No.
Fuck off.
No, I don't think so.
Are we going to have this argument now?
I'm pretty sure it did.
I could give a shit.
No, I honestly don't know, but I don't think it did. It might have some similarities, but I don't know.
No, seriously. Oh, dude, there's another gladiator. There's two of them, yeah, that won a number of fighters as competent gladiators in their careers, blah, blah, blah. They faced off each other in a final battle, Priscus and Verus. And then it was in the famous Flavian Amphitheatre. After fighting, and this is again the poet Martial. After fighting for hours in a nail-biting contest, the two warriors submitted to each other at the same time in respect for each other's skill and mettle. They put down their swords and were met with a roaring appreciation of the crowd. The organizer of the event, Emperor Titus, was also moved by the way the battle concluded. He awarded the pair with a rudis, a small wooden sword that granted freedom to gladiators upon their retirement.
That match probably was fixed.
some hefty dude on the side with like a red nose. Yeah,
just stab at each other a couple of times randomly. Just don't kill each other. Yeah. We'll make showmanship out of you.
Oh, dude, that's the other thing, man. There's this other guy, Carpophorus.
Okay.
He was instinctively gifted when it came to fighting wild animals.
Okay.
And he was far more skilled at fighting animals in the arena than hand to hand. So they'd face him off against lions, bears, leopards, rhinos.
Okay.
Yeah. And he fought at the famed Flavian Amphitheatre as well. Defeated bears, lions, and leopards in a single battle. On another occasion, he killed a rather ferocious rhino with a single spear. But his personal best and the crowd's favourite performance came when he killed 20 different beasts in a single battle. Jesus. Oh, here you go. There's a guy named Crixus, a well-known military leader during the Third Servile War. This guy used to be a Gaelic gladiator. And he enjoyed noteworthy success against bigger opponents. He absolutely despised the leader of his gladiator school and his owner. So when the revolt broke out in the training school, he was a happy volunteer among the 70 gladiators who escaped.
Yep.
Then he was part of a rebellion. Destiny had different plans. He basically left. All he wanted was retribution to an upper-class Roman society. Basically led a dispute between him and the rebellion leader. He left the group. Destiny had different plans for him. As the Roman legions were able to track him down before he was able to perpetrate a surprise attack, he fought, and then he eventually died. He was killed by the Romans. Commodus!
I'm pretty sure Crixus had something to do with Spartacus, if I'm not mistaken.
Really?
Yeah.
List Commodus here?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it says here he was obsessed with performing in the arena as a gladiator.
Yeah.
And many of us know him from the Joaquin Phoenix's portrayal in the movie. Notorious for his ego and considered himself above everyone else. Despite the glamour and popularity that the gladiators enjoyed, they were still considered lowly. So Commodus had parts of his palace converted into an arena so as to fight as a gladiator in private. The hell? So he started fighting in public battles with absolute disregard for his royal status. Some of these fights were never fair, as his opponents were armed with wooden swords. Sometimes he would stoop so low as to kill tethered and injured animals just to show off his non-existent fighting skills.
Yeah.
Eventually, Commodus's continuous and mindless dabbling in such antics led to his downfall when he was assassinated in 192 AD.
Yeah. Oh man, after pretty much in the first century, that's like almost every emperor was assassinated.
What? Oh yeah.
Almost every single one after, yeah.
What does that tell you? Just don't trust no one, dude. There's another dude. This is crazy. His name's Flamma. Flama. He's a Syrian. Before he was a gladiator, he was a Syrian soldier who was captured and thrown into battle.
Okay.
And then he used a small sword and a shield and armor on only one half of his body. He terrorized his opponents for 13 years in fights that attracted huge numbers of spectators. By the time he died at 30, he'd won 34 battles. He was in 34 battles. 21 he'd won, 9 were drawn, 4 of them he'd lost. And he was awarded his freedom on 4 different occasions, and every time he just declined it, just kept fighting.
Yeah? Wow.
And then Spartacus is the number 1 gladiator that they list. What do you know about Spartacus?
He's a Thracian, I think.
Yeah.
And I think he was involved, like he was a soldier, I think that was captured or something along those lines.
Yeah, he was captured by Romans.
Yeah. And same thing, like he was similar to that Crixus one, he was in a school.
Yeah, well, it says
and then they overthrew it.
Crixus was one of the escapees, and he became Spartacus' right hand.
Yeah. He had a chance to flee the country. And he had his army, he did all the damage because they couldn't raise armies up in time and whatever they did weren't ready for them. And he had a few chances to leave, but he never took it.
Well, it says here that he was unable to withstand some calculated attack from like a Roman army killed in southern Italy.
Well, they never found his body.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know it was actually just a gladiator that started the rebellion.
Yeah, that was the big problem. And that's... like Romans, like them with slaves was like integral. Like it was a society where slavery was very high, and there was household, like there'd be houses where there'd only be like 4 people in the house of a family or 5 people of the family, and it could be up to 30, 40 slaves in that household. They outnumber them. And so, when these slave revolts happened, there'd be armies of like 60, 70, 80,000 of them. Slaves.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would slavery be that? Because I know everyone had a slave.
It was to show like a source of, the
class systems.
Stature, yeah.
Yeah.
No, in the sense like, well, look how many slaves I have. Even poor people had slaves.
Yeah.
Slaves
for slaves.
Yeah.
That's fucked. It says here, the gladiators were looked down upon by upper-class Romans, but none of these upper classes were ever able to match the fame and admiration that the lower classes gave to the gladiators.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
It's crazy.
Did you see that knockout? Actually, you don't watch the UFC. There was over the weekend. There was the fastest knockout of all time.
Oh, I think I saw. I didn't see it, but I saw it pop up.
He's jumped up and he's kneed the guy in the head just with a flying knee, like right out of the gate. And then he was on the ground, he's just throwing in 2 more punches just to secure it.
Yeah.
And he was just mocking the shit out of him. At what point do you reckon does it cross over back to gladiator styles? At what point do you reckon they'll allow like a death?
Well, apparently, like UFC mixed martial arts. Yeah. Even though it's more brutal than boxing, is probably safer than boxing because the referee basically ends the fight almost instantaneously, like or something. Like once
the person's unable to
defend themselves anymore, in that sense, the fight is over.
It's the same in boxing.
Not really, because they can still.
Once you look like you're not physically aware, they call it.
Yeah. Well, there's been more deaths apparently in boxing than there has been in UFC in mixed martial arts.
Yeah. Do you know what the difference is? Is in mixed martial arts, a fight could end because you've broken your ankle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or you've been forced to submit. There was a guy that pulled the Boston Crab. I swear to God.
Nice.
I'm not even joking, man.
That's gold.
It was the first time ever. It was. Yeah? I saw this about a year ago. I can't remember. Hang on, man. It was. I'm shitting you not, man. It was MMA. Hang on. I'll see if I can find it. This guy pulled it just happened to be in that position, man. Hang on. Fighter pulls off. Oh, here you go. Hang on, man.
Then he finished it off with a 420 slam.
Dude, legit. This is no bullshit, man. Hang on. I'm serious. I just remember watching it. I'm like, get the fuck out of here, man. Like, Boston Crab? Like, what do you mean? But yeah, my point is that you could finish a fight with a submission. That's not going to kill you.
No.
And if you're doing a submission like an arm bar or a cobra clutch or something, like technically, like that's not permanent damage.
No.
You pull a ligament out of place and that's the end of it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
not looking happy in there, Steve.
No, he really looks uncomfortable.
Oh, Boston Crab!
No!
Boston Crab!
Boston Crab!
Did he tap out?
Oh,
he tapped.
it's the
He tapped out of a. But a Boston Crab doesn't hurt, does it?
He tapped out, man.
Never!
That would put pressure on your lower back, though, wouldn't it?
Have I seen anything like that?
I'm not gonna. It's not the Boston Crab. It's the Bolton Crab, and it's John O'Mears.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. You're telling me the Boston Crab wouldn't hurt if you pulled it off?
I don't know, because you're basically just pulling your legs back.
All right, for anyone that doesn't actually know what this is, yeah, in order to get the Boston... You know what's messed up, man? We've watched that much professional wrestling.
And now we can't describe it.
Yeah, and dude, these intricate positions and moves, the names, the superstars that invented them. You know what I mean? The Boston Crab. Who do you associate it with? Walls Jericho straight away.
Yeah, straight away. Yeah.
Who else did it? There was a couple other big superstars that did the Boston Crab.
Bret Hart used to do it.
No, he did the sharpshooter.
No, but he used to pull it out as well.
Did he?
Yeah. It was just like it wasn't a finisher, but it was just a go-to move.
I think Owen Hart would have done it as well.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, the Boston Crab is, you got a guy lying flat, the guy
on his stomach.
Yeah, he's lying prone on his stomach. You go up to you stand over his legs, facing his feet.
Yeah.
Then you pull his feet up.
So you kind of sit down, like in a squatting position over his butt.
Yeah.
And then you grab his legs
and then
wrench him back into you, like you hook him up into your
underarms, yeah.
Under your arms, yeah. And then you just sit on him and just pull back.
Yeah, so the pressure would be applied to your
lower back, I would
even
say.
Your shoulders, because you're sort of bending, and it's bending your spine.
Yeah.
You're basically you're bending your spine in the opposite direction of where it's meant to be going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's with the full force of 110 kilos.
It's basically like a reverse fetal position.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what it is. Yeah.
He pulled it off in an MMA fight.
I can't believe that. That's hilarious. It's gold.
What was I going to say? Yeah. Okay, but that's not going to cause permanent damage to actually kill someone.
No, but it could paralyze the dude. Because if he tried to fight it and he let that guy pull hard enough, yeah,
it's because we've been brought up on WWE,
yeah,
and these moves that would normally kill a man, just shake it off and walk away, like the spine buster, right?
Yeah.
That would dislocate your back.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Dude, the brain buster. I don't think they're allowed to do brain busters anymore. Remember there was
in a WWE they're not. The WWE's banned moves.
Yeah,
because it's
the pile driver. You can't do a pile driver.
There's a few moves, but that's just got to do because they're too family friendly now, and they're not allowed to cut anymore. There's no blood allowed. They're not allowed anything that's dangerous.
Yeah, you're you got this disdained look on your face. Like you're deriding the WWE. Look, they're not allowed to make themselves bleed anymore. Dude, okay, cutting, for anyone that doesn't know, is in professional wrestling. Every time you'd see a wrestler bleeding from his face or whatever, it's because he had razor blades taped into his wrist.
Yeah, usually just one blade, like a little blade.
He'd have a little blade taped into his wrist tape, and he would just flick a cut across his forehead, and then
put it back. So, like any move, like if it was a chair shot or whatever, something that would make
you bleed, yeah.
Make you bleed. When they'd land on the ground, they would roll onto their face, quickly pull it out, cut their head, and then make a gush out, and then hide it again.
You're such a dickhead.
And then get up and
look at your face, though, man. It's disgusted because they're not forcing themselves to bleed.
Well, someone actually had the balls to come out and say that all these, because now there's a resurgence of all these indie circuits coming up. All AEW.
Yeah.
There's ROH.
Ring of Honor. All Japan. New Japan,
sorry. So you got there's heaps more as well. There's the Mexican ones.
The Mexican Lucha Libres.
They've got all these ones. And someone actually had the balls to come out and say that, these small indies shouldn't be trying to take WWE's spot because they're the king of they're the top dog.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, but they might be top, but they've been at the top for a while now, and they've become complacent.
Yeah.
Because all their wrestlers are trying to find ways out of their contracts and go to all these other smaller companies.
They are. Yeah.
And they're bagging them straight away as soon as they get out. They're the best wrestler in the world at the moment isn't even in the WWE.
No, he's with All Extreme, isn't he?
Yeah, Kenny Omega, man.
Yeah.
He's a gun.
Yeah, he's a gun.
I found a video last night of him fighting a 9-year-old girl.
Why?
It was just for entertainment. It's a wrestler. It's a match they put in Japan.
Oh.
It's a goal.
Does he get punched out?
Nah, it's like Rey Mysterio fighting the Big Show. Like, it's there for entertainment at the start. Like,
the warm-ups.
Yeah, like she's all good, like doing all these flips and all that.
So she's actually trained, so it's some girl.
Yeah. And then he just gets down. It's just hilarious.
Yes. Kenny Omega's cool, man.
Yeah, he is. He's very broad. Like, he's not broad, very wide and versatile. Sorry. Like, he comes across as power, speed, technical.
But look, how they come across is always based on how much the company pushes them.
True.
I've been reading it, dude, because I went and saw Bischoff. You should have seen it. You're an idiot. You know what? That is something you missed out on. Eric Bischoff, man, like, considering, especially you, like, grew up watching that shit.
Yeah.
Listening to his stories for 2 hours was friggin' hilarious. Like, he had a lot of insight.
I couldn't make it. It was salami weekend. Some things are more important, Tim.
You know what I was going to say to you? When I went for that bike ride the other day, and I was going to stop to message you, and I said, I'm going to keep going, so I had some speed on me. I was going up through sort of Mulgrave, like towards the Eastern Freeway, the East Link.
Yep.
So that back end of Mulgrave,
Yeah.
And I got a whiff of one of the most, what's the word I'm saying? Recognizable smells of all time. And straight away, it took me back to, like, being a kid and coming home from school, man. Think about it. It's the middle of winter. The smell of boiling tomatoes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that smell, how would you describe it? It's, like, thick, and it hangs in the air.
It does, yeah. It does, yeah.
It's like it's not sweet, and it's not...
Very unique. It's just it's the smell of boiling water with...
But it's got, like, an underlying sort of... You know what I mean?
Yeah. This tomato has the same smell.
I was just riding, and I just passed these houses, and it hit me straight away. And I'm like, what the... I just remember coming home and seeing my parents in the backyard with, like, that big metal freaking cauldron just boiling tomatoes. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
We need it. And the garage is filled with jars.
Pull your sleeves up, Tim.
Literally, man. Go get the tomatoes and start dumping them in the pot. Like, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, you missed out on that thing. And yours interesting. Bischoff, on the actual talk, they were asking him about AEW and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And you're going to move over. And they said, have you spoken to anyone from AEW? And he's like, nah. He goes, and I'm only being honest. He goes, I can't even if I was going to lie, I would have thought of some sort of crafty way to maneuver around the question, but outright, haven't spoken to anyone, haven't got a call, nothing, like I don't know what they're doing, I have no idea.
He's probably, not that he's out of the loop, but he's probably done with it, you reckon?
Yeah, but then 3 days later, it's announced that he's on WWE.
Oh, is he?
Did I tell you?
No.
Heyman and Bischoff are now the executives at over Raw and SmackDown. So pretty much underneath McMahon, it's them two.
Well, maybe under Bischoff it might do a bit better, but I know for a big issue, like a big problem with all these wrestlers leaving, and Omega even says that they interview him, and he says it without specifically saying it. Yeah. Well, he actually does say it, is these wrestlers have no creative control over their characters.
No.
And it's almost as if like...
No, it comes from McMahon.
Yeah. Whereas all these new places that are popping up, the wrestlers that are involved with their character.
You're allowed to maintain your identity and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. A lot of these wrestlers, they can only go so far on their own physical abilities and talent. It all depends on the company behind them that's pushing them.
Yeah.
Same goes with like musicians, artists, actors, like all that sort of shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There are great actors out there that just get lumped into crappy movies.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, it's like Will Smith. The Will Smith argument. I have this argument. I'm prepared to have this argument with everyone that ever comes onto this podcast for the rest of my life. Right? Will Smith. Is he a good actor?
It's alright.
Dude, as far as I'm concerned...
He's done a couple serious films, but I've never watched them.
He's played the same actor in every movie.
Well, he did that, what was that one, was it £7 or £10?
£7.
£10 or £7?
I don't know. What are you talking about?
It was some serious movie he did. And he did another one as well where, I think it was, like he played some poor dude with his kid. It was one of his first kid, his kid,
Jaden.
Yeah, one of his first movies. Apparently his acting in that was really good, and his £10 or £7, whatever it was. Supposed to be really good.
£10 or £7?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I've got no idea what
It's either £7 or £10.
I hope you're wrong. I hope, for the love of God, that you're wrong.
No, I'm right.
Hang on.
I'm always
Hang on, man. 7 pounds.
Ha!
It's a drama film starring Will Smith, stars as a man who sets out to change the lives of 7 people. Really?
I think it's... Well, I'm never going to watch it, but apparently I think he knows he's dying. He's going to donate organs.
Okay.
And they, like, each organ is £1, I think. I don't know. I could just be talking crap.
Yeah, okay, that's great.
And the other one is with his kid where he's unemployed and all I remember is...
Pursuit of Happiness.
Yeah. All I remember is him just in a toilet stall trying to keep the door locked with his kid. That's all I remember. I never saw it. I just remember from the commercial.
You know what's interesting?
Yeah.
Will Smith, yeah? Who's he married to?
Jada Pinkett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are their kids' names? Jaden and Willow. Will Smith has a daughter named Willow.
Yeah.
And Jada Pinkett has got a son named Jaden.
Yeah.
Really? Do you don't wank anymore, man. That's too much, man.
It is.
You name your son Junior, like, I get it. But come on, man. That's just too far. Yeah, Will Smith's got another son, yeah?
No, I didn't know that.
You didn't know?
Has he got more kids? Did she have another one or he always had one? That's hilarious.
You didn't know?
Nah.
Are you serious?
I don't follow that crap, man. Are you serious?
Dude, there's memes. There are memes going around. Will Smith, oldest son. There's... he had his old... I love it. No one ever knows that he's got another son. I've dropped this. It said, if you ever feel like you've been, not overlooked, but, like pushed aside by your family, just know for a fact that Will Smith has another son, like an oldest one. Yeah, his son Trey.
Trey.
Yeah, hang on. What's the deal with his son? I can't remember. It's with another bird. Like, not Jada, whatever.
Yeah.
Will Smith's oldest child, Trey Smith. Oh, you know what? You go to Trey Smith, and it doesn't even he hasn't even got his own Wikipedia page. Like, that's how insignificant he is as far as...
Well, you click on Will Smith, and you know how it has, like, kids, and each one would have a link on the name?
Yeah.
He's, the oldest one would just not...
Just revert back to...
No, it's just not clickable, that's all.
It's just black.
Yeah, it's just black writing.
Hang on.
Blue.
Yeah, he married some bird named Cherie Zampino in 92, and they had a kid in 92, and they divorced in 95.
Okay.
Trey appeared in his father's music video for Just the Two of Us. He was in 2 episodes of some sitcom, appeared on Oprah Winfrey Show, and it was on the David Blaine Real or Magic Show.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. He's a DJ, apparently.
Okay.
No shit. Smith and his brother Harry own Trey Ball Development, which is named after his son.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyway, how did we get to Will Smith? Oh, movies. Yeah.
No, it was Gladiators.
I have this argument man, I'm telling you. I ask people to name a Will Smith movie. Yeah?
Yeah, okay.
Name one.
I can name a few.
Okay, name one.
I Am Legend.
Okay.
Is it 4th of July?
What?
No.
No.
What is it? No, not 4th of July. What's the one with the aliens? Independence Day.
4th of July.
Yeah, because then at the end, remember
it is, yeah.
This will be how... Like, it's like... How corny are those movies back then, man?
Bill Pullman.
No, just like late 90s.
They were corny. They were cheesy.
Yeah, cheesy.
But that's the 90s.
Yeah. Bad Boys?
Wait, hang on. Do you know why they were corny? Because...
That was the writing back then.
No. It's because they were all... disaster movies or monster movies. Like,
yeah, true.
They're all apocalyptic sort of themes.
Yeah.
So it stirs up all the patriotism. Nothing like an apocalypse to bring up the good old, US of A.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Aliens are coming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is our Independence Day. Nothing like a real war to offset that.
No. It's just
Trump sending people back to... They're stoking the fires with Iran. This is our Independence Day. Dude, you got a war coming in.
They made a second one, didn't they?
Independence Day?
Yeah.
Will Smith wasn't in it.
No.
All right, name another Will Smith.
Bad Boys?
That's, first one I would have named.
Okay. That actually didn't come to my mind first. 7 pounds.
10 minutes to get that out of here.
Pursuit of Happiness. Men in Black, 1, 2, 3.
Was he in the third one?
Yeah.
I've never seen a Men in Black.
They're alright. First one was good.
Nah, no chance. That's what I'm saying, right? I can name more movies just because I can remember more movies. He was in Hancock.
Oh, yeah,
he
Hancock.
Was in,
Hancock was alright too.
Really?
Too bad.
Alright, it was in Hancock. He was in Legend of Bagger Vance.
The end was a bit dumb. The end was dumb in it.
I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Bad Boys 2. And now they're making Bad Boys for Life. Dude, look at Bad Boys for Life.
Is Martin Lawrence going to be in it?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Here's a reason to watch that movie.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, but think about Bad Boys for Life, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you remember Bad Boys 2, like the plot?
Yeah.
Exactly. He's in all these movies. Though he was in Ali, which was terrible.
Yeah, I never saw it.
He's in these movies where he essentially plays the same character he always plays.
Which is himself.
Yeah. If he's not some, like, meeker than meek poor person that's struggling to come to terms with life, then he's playing it over the top.
He's got no range.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's just skated on this shitty personality that he's put together just for camera. Yeah. And people blow up these movies where essentially they're pretty shit. Like Bad Boys 2 was a terrible movie as far as I'm concerned. That movie, Bad Boys 2, they were fighting the cartels. Yeah?
But I was just thinking now, what was his last movie? What was his last big movie?
Okay.
His last one he did was with his son, and that flopped, didn't it?
Yeah, he's done a few with his son, and they've all flopped. Hang on. Will Smith.
Well, that's the thing. Like he used to be like a
draw. Like
a draw. Yeah,
massive
exactly.
budget.
Yeah.
For sure.
Whereas now, like he's put together too many bad ones, and I don't know.
Okay, here I'll tell you what his last movies were. It was in Aladdin.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, yeah. Okay, I don't know if that's done well.
Well,
apparently all the Disney movies that have been done live action are all not flopping, but they're selling significantly less
than what they should,
than what they're expecting.
Well,
but that has a lot of other issues that come into it as well.
Aladdin, I refuse to go watch.
Yeah,
because Will Smith.
Yeah,
all right. I'm sorry, but you can't. All right. No. He doesn't. He may have been able to pull Aladdin off when he was in his 20s, his early 20s, and he did Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, and he had that improv sort of quirkiness, yeah? And they outright said that, this is not a remake, as in no one's ever going to do it justice as compared to Robin Williams.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, it's Will Smith, man. Like, he's just cheesy face.
There probably could have been other actors that
Eddie
probably would
Murphy.
have... Yeah,
Eddie Murphy, if you wanted to pick an African-American, let's just say for that diversity sort of thing, and you wanted a black actor, Eddie Murphy would have been a way better comedian.
But Eddie Murphy hasn't done anything for ages, has he?
No. But that's the point. You know what I mean? If they thought that getting him was going to be some kind of draw, they're wrong.
That put Chris Rock as the genie.
I can't believe. Yeah, man. I'd rather pay that, man.
Yeah. Oh man.
Hang on. Okay, you had well, look, there's movies that you've probably never heard of. He was in a movie called Collateral Beauty, Bright. He was in Suicide Squad.
Apparently Bright was okay.
Suicide Squad.
Yeah, that was crap.
I never saw it.
Yeah, that was a waste of $22.
It's like a real life story based on some doctor in the NFL. Focus.
Yeah, that was with Margot Robbie, I think it was.
Okay.
That was okay. Nothing special either.
He was in Annie. Anchorman 2, he's got that cameo as one of the reporters for BET or whatever.
Yeah.
After Earth, that's the one with his son. That's M. Night Shyamalan.
What a twist.
I didn't see that coming. Yeah, he was in Men in Black 3. This Means War. I got no idea what that is. He was in The Karate Kid. The one that they did with his son. Dude, Jaden Smith was the Karate Kid.
Was he in that Karate Kid?
Apparently.
I don't remember him being in it.
I think maybe he's got a production. He's a producer. Yeah. Hang on. Secret Life of Bees. Producer. Human Contract. Executive producer with his missus. Hancock. He's in that. I Am Legend. Pursuit of Happiness. ATL. He's a producer. Hitch. I had an argument here with my mate Will, the Ukrainian, when we were setting the studio up, because he's a big Will Smith fan. And he's like, I'm on my way to see Aladdin with the kid, another Will Smith classic. I'm like, you're fun. Yeah, Hitch, man. He's like, yeah, it's a good movie. I go, don't you dare defend Hitch, man.
I think that movie probably
That was 2005.
No, I was thinking, what was the actress's name in it?
Hitch.
Yeah, Eva Mendes?
Yeah, Eva Mendes was in it.
Was she kind of, like, blew up after that movie, didn't she? Or was she, because she was in Training Day.
She was in Training Day.
And that was like,
that was
after that, yeah, that was her breakout.
That was her breakout.
And then I think she did, yeah, okay,
yeah. Dude, he was in Shark's Tale as a voice. iRobot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Jersey Girl, Bad Boys 2. Now we're back to 2003, early 2000s.
Where's the longest gap between movies?
Dude, well, look at it this way, yeah? 2003, he did 2 movies.
Yeah.
One as a producer, one in Bad Boys 2. Then in 2004, he was in Jersey Girl and iRobot.
Yeah.
And then he was, and Shark's Tale, and he was a producer on 2 other ones. Hitch he did in 2005.
Yeah.
2006 was In the Pursuit of Happiness. 2007, I Am Legend. 2008, Hancock. Basically, and then from Hancock in 2008, he was in 7 Pounds in 2008. And then from 2008, he wasn't in the movie for 2 years. He was in Men in Black 3. And then he was in After Earth with his son.
And then it all dried out.
And then, he did a movie a year, but they're all shit.
Yeah.
And Bad Boys for Life is coming out next year.
Well, that's
He started doing these passion projects with his kids and basically liquidated his whole fucking image.
Well, that's it. Like you were saying before, the image of exactly like you're saying. You got to be your image, especially as an actor, has to be able to draw people in. That's why they make big money.
Yeah.
And if they're not drawing in people, then they're not going to keep using you.
But he kept doing these stupid projects with his kids.
Yeah.
And these mediocre roles. But he's, like I said, he's essentially played the same character forever.
Yeah.
And we all just hang on Bad Boys and then Men in Black and... Dude, ask your typical Will Smith fan if they've actually watched The Legend of Bagger Vance or whatever. Or 7 Pounds. Or Ali even, Ali was meant to be his big flexing, dramatic flexing muscle moment. You know what I mean? Yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all that crap. I reckon Will Smith is a fraud the same way Madonna is a fraud, man.
Are we going to get into Madonna fraud? I don't know if we've got time for that tonight.
We don't have time.
We'll save that for the next time.
Yeah. I can elaborate on Madonna's fraud forever. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. She's the biggest charlatan.
Yeah. Oh, he's going medieval. He's going Renaissance there.
Charlatan.
She's a snake. What do you call it? Snake oil
woman. Yeah. Snake oil salesman. Dude, she's literally driving around the range in a van with like folders of a Material Girl catalogue, just trying to sell the next crap. If you listen to her last album, her latest works, it's a joke.
Yeah.
It's a joke. You'd be insulted if you heard it, man. I can't. Anyway, we'll wrap it up. It's getting late. How long do you reckon we've been running? Actually, I'm surprised.
I reckon we've been going probably about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Are you for real? It's 2 hours and 47 minutes. 48.
That's not so bad.
Anyway. Hey, isn't tomorrow your day off?
Yes.
What's the plan?
Tomorrow, I am going to pick up my new purchase.
Oh, is that tomorrow?
Yes, I'm picking it up tomorrow.
What time?
10 in the morning.
You want to lift
there? Did you want to come?
Yeah, I'll come.
Yeah, because Dean's coming along with me as well.
Are they getting a ribbon out for you?
See.
No, call ahead and tell them you want a ribbon.
Why do I want a ribbon?
Isn't it brand new?
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, my mate bought a Hyundai worth like 16K.
Yeah.
And he rolled up.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Where's the ribbon?" It's like, "Oh, we weren't going to." It was like, I don't give a fuck. Brand new car. I've never owned one.
Yeah.
You're getting a ribbon out of it.
Well, the salesman said he was going to get me a ribbon.
No, there has to be a ribbon. Dude, if I've never bought a new car.
Yeah.
Have you?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You want a ribbon.
Oh, I guess. I don't know.
I believe you bring your brother along as well.
Well, he wanted to come along, so...
Yeah, I know, but you know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to drive it out of the yard.
Oh.
He will actually get in the seat before you do. I can tell you that right now.
Did I tell you the story about that, how that happened?
No.
What happened there? Basically, I went there the day before... I went there on the Saturday just before the end of June.
Yeah.
And it was bucketing, and I wanted to test one out because I was going to go the next day to try another one out, buy a second-hand one.
Yeah.
And pretty much pathetic customer service.
Yeah, standard.
pathetic. But because it was raining, nobody was coming. Like, we went straight in, but the salesman didn't give me two minutes of the day. Cold shoulder, because he goes, "Oh, you look at the buy." I'm like, "Well, I'm not going to buy a car without test driving it."
Yeah.
"Oh, well, did you make an appointment to test drive it?" "What do you think?" You know? "Oh, well, it is the second last day of the financial year." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, see you later." Go back the next day. Because, Maria goes, "I think you should, test drive one before you drive down to Werribee."
Yeah.
And, I test drove one. I'm like, you know what? Stuff going to Werribee. I'll just get a brand new one.
Yeah. Why would you go to Werribee?
Because it was a second-hand one down there.
At a dealer?
A dealer.
So where were you when you walked in and it was raining?
Yeah. Just down here in Mulgrave, yeah.
Oh, and
to an actual dealer, because I wanted to test drive one, so I had an idea when I went down to Werribee to see if it drove the same.
Yeah.
So they hadn't driven one.
How does that work with the test drives on new cars?
You have to give your license.
Yeah, I know, but if it's a new car, you're technically adding kilometres to the...
Well, they're demo cars.
Okay, so they have a demo, then they roll out your one.
Yeah. So, pretty much. Because then they're like, "Oh, we've got this car for sale. It's a demo. This one's new. It's never been driven. We've got this one here. It's just second hand, this and that."
Yeah. But when you get it, it's on 0-0.
I would assume so.
I would crack the shits, man.
It could have maybe 10 on it.
You just lose it. You know what I mean?
I don't think any car ever has just 0.
No, because they've got to drive it in the yard, move it around.
They're going to test it out.
Wash
they'll run it on
that sort of crap.
Yeah.
I'd still be demanding a ribbon.
A ribbon.
Yeah. Get your brother to do it. I'm telling you now, I will put money on it that he actually gets in the driver's seat. Not necessarily to drive it out of the yard, but to actually just get in it.
Yeah.
Like to suss it out.
Yeah.
I guarantee it 100%.
He will.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Remember when I came to your house once when I got my second R31? Do you remember? Yeah, I pulled up from the driveway and he's like jumped in.
He just jumps.
Yanked the handbrake up. And you're like, "Oh!" He's like, "Oh, I've got to make sure he hasn't got a limit." You're like, "What are you going to do?" And you're looking at it. You're like, "What are you going to tell?" I pulled up a handbrake in the driveway.
And he doesn't do it with the button. He just yanks it. You hear all those clicks. Yeah.
I still remember that, man.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago. How times have changed. Everyone in your car.
Yeah.
Excited?
Yeah, definitely.
What are you going to wear?
I'm going to go rock up in a suit, Tim. You look my best. First impressions.
Just on the first picture of you, like, signing the papers. Yeah! You know what I've always wanted? A big novelty check, man. I brought it up the other day.
Yeah.
Like, I would love to pay for something with a novelty check. Alright, anyway, let's wrap this shit up. 10 o'clock, what time are you actually leaving to go?
I've got to be there by 9:30.
So why'd you say 10 o'clock?
Because I'm picking it up at 10, but I've got to sign some stuff before I go to pick it up.
They screen you. It's like you're talking,
No, because apparently when I pick it up at 10, the salesman's got to be with me. Like, he's got to sit me down for an hour and explain to me how things work in the car.
What do you mean? It's a car.
It's voice activated.
It's a car.
Apparently there's things to learn about it.
Dude, you get in. Hello, Jonathan. Hey.
Can we change the voice? Can I get something a bit more English or French?
Dude, John Cleese. You know what I mean? What's the name of that actor that was in I keep forgetting his name. He's in Get Carter. He's in both of them. He plays opposite Stallone in Get Carter.
He's in Batman. What's his name?
Yeah, he plays Alfred in Batman.
Yeah.
What's his friggin' name?
Every time I think of him, I think of the Majestic.
Majestic?
Yeah, because he does it in that real Cockney accent.
Yeah.
It's the Majestic.
Who am I talking about? Why am I forgetting his name? He's like one of the most distinguished English actors of all time. What's his name? How have I gone blank?
Uncle Caine.
That's it. I'm Uncle Caine. You need that accent in your car. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right, first things first. Can I get it more English? You're such a bum. I'm just picturing picturing that Alexa voice.
Yeah. You know which? If I could get a voice, you know which voice I would go for?
Yeah.
John Lovitz. Oh man!
What is it? It's remote start. Yeah, this car.
Yeah. It's a push button. The button.
Yeah,
button start. And I think
button start or whatever.
Yeah.
John Lovett's doing that voice. Just you push it now. Look for the button. I love it. That's mad. Yeah. All right. Like, share, follow, subscribe, blah, 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 blah. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. As I was saying before, I'm looking to amp it up with recording footage on anyone that actually wants to be recorded. But again, be patient. It's going to be a lot more work, and I can't be fucked, quite frankly. Dude, that's another thing, too. I actually made a medley. I'll show you the video. I made a medley of the trip to Malaysia last year. I told the boys I was going to do like a video compilation of our footage. We didn't have much. And then I never did. That was 2.5 years ago. And I downloaded some video software just to freaking chop up, to see if I could get filming shit done. And I made a medley. I'll show you. It's very, very entertaining.
Okay.
Minute and a half.
I look forward to it.
Yeah, like, share, follow, blah, 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 blah. Take it easy. Yeah.
Hold up.